Hello, it is Saturday, January 14th, 2023. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. Today we're going to be solving, of course, a Saturday puzzle, so I assume this will be, indeed, a themeless crossword, unlike yesterday's, which we expected to be themeless, but there was a Friday the 13th curveball thrown in there, so we solved a very interesting themed puzzle. In any case, today should be themeless, and this, I think, genuinely themeless edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Alex, Laura Sexton, Victoria Rojishka, and, as always, the invaluable Timothy Mark and the indomitable Schulmaster. So thank you so much to the 5 of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their ongoing support. They do sustain this channel and this series, and I do very much appreciate that. So thank you so much to all those benefactors. And if you'd like, particularly these 5 who I've mentioned today, and if you'd like to join their ranks, get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug. You can find that at patreon.com/dailysolve or in a link in the description field underneath the video. And of course, by going to that same link, you can join the Patreon campaign at any level you like to support the channel, and also get all of the bonus videos that have gone up to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week. So yesterday, I had 3 weeks of mini puzzle speed solving to catch up on. So the first of those was published. I've recorded all 3 now. The first was released yesterday, the second will be released today, and the third will be released tomorrow. And then I'll be all caught up on the mini puzzles at least, and I have more things to catch up on, like the monthly bonus puzzle, acrostics, and so on. So do look forward to those if you're a patron. It's all coming soon. All right, let's move on. So do subscribe to the channel if you've not yet done so. Like the videos and subscribe if you have can find it in your heart to do so. Thank you to everybody who has. And you can join the Daily Solve Discord chat server. There's a link in the description field to that as well. So let's solve the puzzle. This is, as we expect, a Saturday themeless puzzle. It was constructed by David Karp, his second puzzle for the New York Times, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So let's start solving, shall we? Now look at that. We have a sort of double symmetrical grid. It looks like a sort of target pattern or sort of crosshairs or something. In any case, when I said particularly symmetrical, I mean that it's both radially symmetrical. In other words, if you rotated the grid 180 degrees, the black cells would be disposed in the same positions, but also it's symmetrical about a vertical and a horizontal axis. So if you folded it vertically or horizontally, it would again retain its patterns. So unusual. In any case, terms of address. Dears, as in Dear John on a letter? I'm not sure. Hit sounds. Bangs or slams or, I don't know, something like that. Sister from another mister. A stepsister. A half-sister. This might not actually be referring to a family member. This might be something more colloquial. Let's keep going. More on the up and up. Well, the more makes me think ER. So more honest or straighter or... Although there is a question mark here. So maybe it doesn't mean the up and up to mean honest or legitimate, but maybe it literally means up in the air. It's literally higher. Let's see if that helps with these downs. Soup sometimes served with han dam. That looks Vietnamese. It looks like Vietnamese. I don't actually know han dam, but pho, I suspect, is the soup in question here. Like fine wine, but not fine olive oil. Aged, I suppose. And engages in some outdoor recreation. Oh, maybe this is slaps, hit sounds. I'm just trying to think. I know obviously hit sounds, you'd think, oh, music, piece of music that's charting high, but I think it sort of just looks to me like it means literally the sounds of hits. It just seems like the kind of misdirection we'd get on a Saturday. So let's see if that works. Engages in some outdoor recreation. I don't know. Word when you can't find the word. Wow, so is this meant to be a single word? Boy, that is surprising. Maybe I'll delete that. Birthplace of flamenco. No. Is there any chance it's Sidonia? Sidonia, Seville. Just trying to think of Spanish place names. I don't know. I can't think of any others. What about this? Market event in brief. An IPO, an initial public offering. That's a sort of stock market event. A company goes public. Drives away, repels. There we go. Okay. I think we found a couple of relatively confident clues that I can use to break into the puzzle. Women's surfwear brand. Oh, Roxy. I remember this. I grew up near the beach, and Roxy was a common brand. Okay. Show off one's physique in a way, to flex one's muscles. Okay, Seville. That is what that is. The birthplace of flamenco. That's interesting knowledge. Offer that can't be refused in business. A hostile takeover. Oops. Yes, that worked. Okay. Hostile takeover. An offer that can't be refused. So a sort of forcible acquisition of shares of a company. Engages in some outdoor recreation. Oh, hikes. Right. Okay. Should have thought of that earlier. So, WAPs, I guess, is hit sound. So, right. That's better than slaps, because a slap isn't really the sound. It's kind of a description. It's sort of the event. And then the slap itself would make a sound, if you see what I mean. Whereas WAP is kind of an onomatopoeic representation of the sound itself. Okay. Word when you can't find the word. Oh, it'll probably start with what? Whatchamacallit, maybe? How on earth am I going to... I bet it's something like that. This is the letter about which I'm least confident here. Maybe this one as well. That's probably right. I wonder if this is the answer. Let's check some of the shorter crosses that might be able to confirm or deny. Japanese tech giant. Oh, NEC, is that? That's kind of familiar, but I'm not 100% certain, so I might not put it in. Intrinsically, per se. Go feral? I'm sort of just stacking supposition upon supposition here. This is all very speculative. Husky apparatus. A husky, a dog, the breed of dog? Oh, a dog sled. Right. Huskies pull sleds. Taya of Madam Secretary, Taya Leone is an actor, so I think that would be her there. Hardens in yours, you could become hardened to, I don't know, grief or pain or something through experience. A go-getter is, I was going to say sort of type A, but is that how it's, is Tia Leone's name spelled with a Y? Maybe it is. Generic, e.g., a drug. Okay, no, this is, I think it is, oops, how did I get over there? I think it is spelled with an I, and this is just something else. So generic is a drug, and over the sort of generic drug produced after the patent has expired, and so it's not a name brand drug. Go-getter is, tiger. Go get 'em, tiger, they say. Okay, there we go. And a poetic palindrome is air. So palindrome is a word that reads identically starting from either end, essentially. And so air, meaning before, is a preposition often used in poetic contexts. Okay, dated TV star. I wonder if this means dated as in went out with, as opposed to dated as in kind of outdated, older, because of the question mark. The question mark could also be referring to the star, so it could be referring to a star in the astronomical sense rather than a leading actor. But I'm not sure which, so let's keep looking around. This is all looking pretty good, though. I wasn't sure about this. So NEC, is that right? I'm still not 100% certain I'm remembering the right letter there. What about this? Tired excuses, question mark. Quite a lot of question mark clues, pun clues today. Which is common enough for a Saturday. Foot the bill. To pay, to treat somebody, to foot the bill. Tipped off, alerted somebody to a problem or something. Design deets are specs, specifications, and the deets for details is a clue that we're going to also be contracting the answer in some form, so specifications become specs. Places with multiple outlets. You could have outlet stores in a mall, a brand outlet store in a mall. Terms of address, right, it probably ends with an S. Tired excuses. Oh, sleep, oops, sleep something. So the tired means literally fatigued, as opposed to tired meaning trite or overused, which is like, oh, that's a very tired excuse. That's a very sort of overdone, overused excuse. But we're not using it in that way. We mean literally tired, a person who is tired. So, but I don't know what the answer is. It probably ends with S. One's unlikely to order the house wine, say snobs, maybe? Or I guess there could be something else. Let's just see if this works. Words to remember for short. Yeah, I don't know. Harry Belafonte catchword. What did Harry Belafonte say commonly? Not sure. Okay, internet company whose logo is a cat wearing earphones. Oh, was that Napster? Wow, I haven't heard about Napster in a long time. That was the, what was it called? Peer-to-peer file sharing, I think, software in the, I think it started in the late 90s, and that's when everyone was sort of downloading and trading MP3s before streaming services became a big thing. Okay, eject is to, I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue here and I can't think. To spit out? That's not what I was trying to think of. It's similar to that. Spew. To eject is to spew is what I was trying to think of. Cutesy to a fault. Maybe not spew. Does this... Yes, fabled tooth takers. It does end with an S. The tooth fairy. Fairies. There we go. Ride in space. Oh, Sally Ride. Oh, that's clever. So, Sally Ride, the astronaut. There we go. And tiny bit, a scrap? Not one tiny bit, not one scrap. This looks like Marr. No, I was wondering maybe Andrew Marr or something like that. But no. I guess Andrew Marr wouldn't be in a U.S. crossword, probably. Tie up more, a ship. There we go, at a pier. At a jetty, which I think was in the crossword yesterday, or maybe one of the minis I solved, I can't remember. Tiny bit. I'm not sure about that. Banos, California. I mean, I actually don't know this city, but it looks like Los Banos. I mean, in California, you can't really go wrong guessing Los or Las as a prefix to a city name. Okay, sign of enforced boundaries. Something passing? No trespassing? Right, okay, there we go. Yes, no trespassing. Boundaries are being enforced, you may not cross them. Oh, right, a tiny bit is a skosh, which has come up a number of times in the crossword, and as I now know via the crossword, this is a lone word of Japanese origin. I think brought back by service members after World War II. Okay, copy machines, walkie-talkies, right. This is some very clever clues going on in this puzzle. So copy machines, in other words, a machine that lets you speak to someone, and then the word copy in quotations is referring to the fact that over a walkie-talkie you might say copy to mean I understand you. Or, that might not be exactly what it translates to, but something to that effect. Okay, what can we do here? Face reddener. Ire, if you're angry, you become red in the face. That's another very clever clue. You'd think this would refer to rouge or some other form of makeup or something like that, but no. Clothing portmanteau. A skort? That's a portmanteau. Does that work? Designer Michael. Oh, Michael Kors? I've seen his purses and things. I'm sure designs all sorts of things. I'm just trying to think what exactly they all are. That's a bit of a tough cross because portmanteaus are sort of arbitrary. I mean, by nature, they combine two words so that you could imagine probably there would be a few different possibilities for that. Tired excuses, sleep, messages, sleep. I'm not sure. What about this? Oh, la-di-da. There we go. We'll just fill in the little sing-song filler lyric, and then sleepless, tired excuses, sleepless nights? Maybe this isn't feral. Oh, it's not. Go viral. Right, it's referring to, an internet meme or article or something becoming widely spread online. So sleepless nights. There we go. Words to remember for short. Vocabulary, right, okay. Again, some very clever misdirection here. So I was thinking this was going to be something about a mnemonic or something, I thought maybe this would be itself a mnemonic that is used to remember other things, but no, it means a shortened version of the concept of knowing words, words to know, vocabulary. That's very clever. Okay, this looks like Bachelorette. Dated TV star. Ex-Bachelorette? What's the... No, the dated part is just the Bachelorette bit. A Bachelorette would go on date. Oh, The Bachelorette? Right, okay, that's a show. Yes, sorry. Okay. I haven't seen it, but I'm aware that it exists. And there's The Bachelor as well. I don't know which of those came first, but presumably one of them did. Maybe they've debuted on exactly the same day. I don't know. It seems less likely. Okay, Harry Belafonte catchword. Oh, Deo from that song. Deo. What is that song? Daylight come and we want to go home. That's what it is. Something like that. I don't remember what the actual name of the song is or the rest of the lyrics, but that must be what this is referring to. Patronize as a resort. Stay at. And it is snobs. Why did I think it wasn't? One's unlikely to, probably because this B looked unlikely. But it turned out to be vocab. There we go. So to outlaw something is to ban it, and balances, not sure. They come straight from the horse's mouth. Reins or something like that? I have no idea what that is. I'm trying to think, again, in the spirit of this puzzle, I'm trying to think of a punny way to interpret this. And, the horse champs on I don't remember what the bit, and then the bit is attached to the reins. But none of that vocab seems to be fitting in here, so I'm not sure exactly what it is. Anyway, we'll keep going. Oh, neighs. Right, okay, sorry. A horse makes a neigh sound. It comes straight from the horse's mouth. Okay. I was on the right track, sort of, but the wrong subcategory. DOJ VIPs, so Department of Justice, very important persons, are Attorney General something. Maybe it's just Attorneys General. Right, that'll be what it is. Yes, okay. Attorneys General. And then balances outsets, or... No, it doesn't seem right. Unpleasant sound from a tuba. A blat? That sort of sounds like how you describe an unpleasant tuba sound. Suit is befit. There we go. And video game turn is a life, I guess. You could sort of take turns. Every time you lose a life, you could pass the game to somebody. I guess that's reasonable. Balances are offsets. Why? He balances the books. He offsets the figure. Yeah, I can sort of see it. Okay, fine neckwear is a silk tie. There we go. And day in movies. This will be someone's name, I bet. And word of woe, alas, woe is me. Part of a river that ironically doesn't contain the mouth. Oh, the head of the river. Oh, that's a fun little observation. And key in a corner, the corner of the keyboard is the escape key. unusually not being used to describe how the escape key quits a program or something, a claim about which I'm generally dubious. Easy, go slow. Easy now, go slow. Oh, Doris Day, of course, there we go. Doris Day in movies. So yes, I was I was in tune with the misdirection that seems to be intrinsic to this particular crossword, but I just needed the crosses to actually get the answer. What one might use to lash out, that would be mascara, eyelashes. Again, we have a bit of a punny usage of lash out in this case. And terms of address, oh, ma'ams, right, you address somebody in a polite fashion, in a formal fashion, ma'am. Oh, gal pal, a sister from another mister, right, okay, so it is not being used in a literal familial sense here. And genre prefix alt is in alt rock, for instance, capital on the island of Eupola Appia, and oh no, I thought that was the end of the puzzle, but it isn't. Sorry. We have to finish this off. Fearlessness is something, and says hey to is greets somebody. So, oh, you've got heart, you've got fearlessness. There we go. To eject is to spew. It is spew, after all. And get it is see, and cutesy to a fault is twee. There we go. It's overly cutesy. It's very twee. And there we have it. That was the Saturday puzzle. That was a great themeless crossword. I really, really enjoyed that. I think that was maybe slightly less difficult than yesterday's puzzle just because there were fewer very tricky crosses. I think yesterday, maybe Skort and Cores arguably, but in general, I don't, and that I don't think was so bad. But yeah, a really well-balanced puzzle, I think, actually, appropriately to the fact that it was perfectly symmetrical, and a really dense grid, which I suppose from a constructor's standpoint must have made it much harder to construct, but from a solver's standpoint is a bit of an assist because there's so much crossing everything all over the place. So even if you're finding a particular answer difficult, there are a lot of routes to sort of build some assistance towards the word with which you're struggling, if you see what I mean. Whereas sometimes you could have a corner that's sort of cut off by a choke point with only a single letter gap heading into it, and that constricts the number of routes you're going to have to give yourself extra crosses. This was a very airy, open grid, and again, I imagine that would be very difficult to construct, but helped us out. And I just thought it was very clever, some very funny and witty little puns here. Walkie-talkies as copy machines. I mean, that's very good. Just good things like that all over the place. Really good stuff. Really enjoyed it. So that was it. That was the Saturday crossword by David Karp. Great one. And I'll be back tomorrow for the much bigger grid, the Sunday themed puzzle. So do join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Saturday. Take care.